Hello everyone, good to see you again. Today I will be sharing with you some quality of life tips on Odin Valhalla Rising. Alright, so some disclaimer before I start. This is basically an unscripted video, so there will be a lot of fillers and random thoughts that might come along the way as I go through the video itself. Alright, so with this, I'll just go ahead to the first thing that I'd like to share with you, which is statistics. Okay, so if you go into your character info, alright, and you look at the bottom left of the window itself, the game actually does a calculation for you on your attack and your defense. Okay, so on the left side, that's the attack and that's the defense. And what up to what level of monsters or mob that your attack and your defense is good. Okay, so if for example over here you see my attack is good until monsters of level 46.9, around 47. Okay, and my defense is actually good until mobs of level 47 or 47.6. Probably I can try 48. Alright, so this gives you a good age as to how fast or how efficient you are against mobs of the X level that you can go up to against. Okay, actually one of the most important stat that is missing here is the hit or the accuracy, depending on how you want to call it, or what's the final translation in the global launch that we are waiting for. Okay, so if you look at the attack, all right, the formula is the required attack equals level of monster times 2. Okay, so if you so to verify that this formula is correct, okay, you look at my attack 92. If you take 92 divide by 2, it's about 46. Okay, there's some decimal place involved, or rather it should be higher than slightly higher than 2, but we'll just use 2 as a base. Okay, so 92 divided by 2 equals 46. So we know for sure attack the attack required equals to level of monster times 2. Let's say for example, if you are aiming towards a level 50 area or level 50 mob, and then the required attack is 50 times 2, your required attack is 100. Okay, and then the formula for defense itself is actually by 4. So the defense required equals to level of the monster times 4. Alright, so let's see. And then the example will be if you're same thing, if you're going for a level 50 monster, 50 times 4 equals 200. So that means you need to have at least 200 defense before the mob starts to obliterate you and you start drinking, or rather your HP potion won't be able to sustain you. That's the amount of defense you require. Okay, so to verify that formula works, 187 divided by 2, we get about 47 point something. Alright, okay, next is the most important stat of all. Okay, your hit or your accuracy. Okay, so the thing is that, to me, stat weightage, for me, alright, this might differ coming from other people, but for me the stat weightage will be, you will always prioritize, or rather you should always prioritize hit or accuracy, defense, and then attack. Okay, or rather hit or accuracy and then defense equals attack. Alright, the reason being is that there is no point in you having high attack but you can't hit the target at all. Okay, this game is designed this way whereby it is absolutely Yeah, I mean, if you can't hit, means you can't hit. It's just as simple as that. All right. So but the mob will always be able to hit you. That's how the game is designed. Okay. So you should always have your for me, I would recommend the stat weightage to be hit, focus on hit, or at least have a gauge of where you want. Let's say, for example, for myself, okay, I'm targeting from launch until probably the first week, or rather the first 5 days. I should have at least 150 hit. Okay, because I am targeting to go into the third map and start to explore before most of the cohort actually, or rather before 80% of the population comes into the third map. Because the third map is around level 50 onwards. Okay, so that's my target. So that means if level 50 mobs, the targeted attack I will need is 100 attack. My hit will be 150 hit, and then my defense will be 200. Alright, so not a difficult target, but it's gonna take some effort for sure. Alright, so that's pretty much for the stats. If you have any questions, you can drop down in the comments, ask, and then I'll try my very best to answer you. Okay. Right. Next, we are going towards the. I'll be featuring the daily stuff that you need to do in game. Okay. So basically, every day you will need to do your village quest. Okay. So at the top right corner here, as you can see where my mouse cursor is, you will probably start with 5 or 6. I can't remember. Okay, or rather I think you start with 5. Doesn't matter, 5 or 6. As you, so you will start with Midgard, and then as you move towards Jotunheim, you get 7. Because I unlocked the third map, that's why I get 8. Alright, so you start with either 5 or 6. Then as you go to Jotunheim, you get 7. And then when you get to Nidwell, okay, Nidwell or wherever that is, okay, you get 8. Okay. So the thing is, you get daily quests here, and then it resets every day. Okay, for Taiwan server it's 4 a.m. So global launch might differ a bit. Okay, but that it resets daily. So the thing is, okay, one thing you need to take note is look at this one, the one on top. The symbol is different, and as you can see, the reward is different as well. Okay, so the higher tier quest actually gives more reward, and I think this is just the second lowest tier. Okay, the lowest tier is a simple design here. Okay, so if it gets 2 strokes, that means it's 1 tier higher. I haven't seen anything. Oh, yep. I think this is the 3rd tier. Right. So if you see, look, here is the 1st tier. 2 strokes is 2nd tier, and then the 3rd stroke is the 3rd tier. So if you compare the reward difference, tier 3 gives 33,000 coin for your Jotunheim, and then tier 2 actually gives you 11,000 coins, and then the basic tier just gives you 5,005 coins. Right. So if you do actually see the higher tiered daily quest, go for it. And then of course below you have to spend some coins to reset and gamble if you get a higher tiered one. So some things to note is that the amount of quests is not shared. Okay, so you are only able to pick up maximum of 8 in my instance across all 3 maps. In order to, I mean that's one thing you should know, because in order to maximize, you will always go to the most updated map that you are able to farm and do the quest there. Okay, so this is the first part of the daily stuff. And then the next thing you would want to do is to go to under Elite Dungeon. Alright. This is the gold and experience dungeon that you will want to go to every day. So you have an hour to go in per character. So let's say, for example, if your account actually has like 3 characters, so you get up to 3 hours, which is 1 hour per character. Alright. Experience is to the character itself. The gold coin is actually shared within your account. This I will be going through later. Or rather, might as well I just go through now. Okay. Coin and diamond is shared throughout the account. Any other currencies or any other tokens is to the character itself. Okay, so just take note. And then the second thing you will want to go to is, let me go click on this. Okay, so the main thing is that you would want to reach level 25 as soon as possible in order to shake away or rather to have the lead against majority of the population on launch day. Okay, because with this the faster you can reach this place at level 25, the faster you can farm your 1 hour without much interference or people coming in to fight for mobs. Okay, because the map is only that big, and to what I know is I have no idea whether there are channels because I haven't seen it happen. So I would just assume that there isn't until it's proven that there is. Then probably whatever I said earlier can be overruled. Alright. So main thing is on day 1, whatever you do, push yourself past level 25 and higher combat rating of 8000, which is relatively easy. Okay, so once you have this criteria met, just come in and get your 1 hour done, right? And then move on with the main story quest. Okay, then the next one is this. Okay, same thing. You have 1 hour per character per day. So what this dungeon does is actually it provides you with all your enhancing stones. So your weapon enhancing stone, armor enhancing stone, accessory enhancing stone, and this is for the relics. Okay, another gacha system. And then this is actually for your stats that will be embedded on your equipment itself. Okay, so and then this is the milestone that each of these items actually extends an hour of time that you can spend in this dungeon itself. Okay, so basically even the XP and coin dungeon actually has the sandal, which is exclusively for this XP and coin dungeon time extension. Alright. And then the last one, the underground prison. You have 8 hours per week per character. Okay, so all these 3, the timing is not shared. Per character, you have it by themselves. Alright, okay, so if you have alts, you might want to plan your time out on how you want to maximize the time within these 3 dungeons, because these are very, very important ones. First thing is that level is very, very hard to grind. If you die, you lose 5% experience, and you can actually drop level. Okay, so let's say if you level up from level 44 to level 45 and your experience bar is only like what 3%, you die, it will take you back to level 44, 97% or so. 3%, 98%. Alright, so if you die, the penalty is 5% experience and you will drop your level. Okay, so for underground prison, you get different levels, gives you different stuff. So basically, the general concept is that you get your skill upgrade scrolls from here. Okay, this is the gray tier and this is the green tier, and then you get some blue items, and then this is a suspicious crystal. Okay, this is important for crafting blue gears. Okay, alright. This these two are important for crafting gears as well. And then the thing is that depending on which level you are at, you actually get dungeon specific dungeon entry coupons or entry tickets, depending on how you want to call it. Okay, so if you see the number 1 here, that's the first dungeon. And then if you see the number 2 here, right, the 2, that's the second dungeon, so on and so forth, right? And then you see the number 3, that's for the third dungeon. Okay, so just to show you the 3 dungeons. This is dungeon 1, this is dungeon 2, this is dungeon 3. 4. So far I've seen 4 on Taiwan server appearing on Taiwan servers. But it's something that only like level 80, high level 80s and level 90s can try and attempt. So far I haven't seen the rest of the dungeon, so I don't really know how they are. Okay, so this is the daily stuff that you need to do every day. Oh, sorry. And one thing about dungeon is that your attempts, you get 3 attempts per week, regardless of which dungeon you go to. Okay, so you would always want to spend. I would recommend you to at least to spend your dungeon probably more towards the end of the week. Over here it states or rather for Taiwan server, it resets on every Monday. So probably you want to schedule your dungeon runs probably on Saturday, Sunday, because the earlier parts of the week you are actually pushing level, pushing dungeon, pushing everything. So towards the end of the week, you can come in and clear the higher tiered. Use your tries on the to maximum your return. Okay, so you try for the highest tier dungeon that you can go for. Okay, so this is my recommendation to you. 3 tries per week. Only 3 tries per week per character. Okay. On top of that, you can actually get entry tickets, like I mentioned earlier, from the underground prison, or you can actually the game might actually just give it to you based on some event things or whichever that's happening. Okay, so this is the things that you would probably want to do. Next, okay, game settings. Some game settings that actually I only have one to share, which I think is pretty important for day 1, or rather for early on launch. Okay, when you go to the game settings right here, okay, go to combat, and the most important thing that you want to disable during day 1 is the polite mode. Okay, basically what the polite mode does is that it actually removes, or rather, if it detects a mob that is being hit by another player, your character will not attempt to hit it. Okay. If you are, I would strongly recommend this to be put on later on in the game, when it's not so clustered. Because you don't want to be PKing someone else, and then they call their entire guild on you just to kill you because you PK their mob. Okay, I mean, this is probably one of the good reason to start a guild war, because of PK. All right, so but for early on launch day, everyone is going to be clustered at the early zones. Just shut this off, because everyone needs mobs, and even though the mobs spawn fast, if there are there are thousands and thousands of people hitting on just a pack of mob that has only like 10 mobs in that area, you being polite doesn't serve you any purpose. Right? Yeah, so this is one of the important settings that I will share. Okay, that you strongly advise you to disable on launch day. Okay, next is the accessories. Important thing to craft on as early as you can. I wouldn't say on start is okay. So for accessories, there are 2 accessories that you will need to craft. I would strongly recommend to craft. The first is the ring. Okay. Okay. So you would, as much as possible, if you can, craft the plains ring. Okay, so or grassland ring, whichever one that gives the attack. Okay, the other green ring is actually to increase skill damage by 2%. All right. So the strongly recommend one is to increase your attack. Okay, so if you click in, when you actually +1 this ring, it will give you additional attack. Okay. So this is one of the strongly recommended item to craft. And then the next one is the armlet. Okay, same thing. The grassland version or the plains version, whichever the translation comes out. So this armlet actually gives you 1 attack and then 1% chance to crit. Although the +1 gives you dodge, but still attack is good. Okay. You might be thinking, why shouldn't I be taking any other thing? Okay. Because early on, having attack is a good thing. Defense and hit only probably comes in when you are after map 1 or after you after you leave Midgard. Hit and defense will be more important, okay, than your attack. Because if early on in Midgard, if you load up your attack when you get into Jotunheim, your main focus to a certain extent will be hit and defense. Okay, because as you progress in Jotunheim, you will find that having high attack doesn't net you fast kills. Okay, because you can't hit if you're constantly missing. All right, so having high attack power but constantly missing, you are still not hitting anything, and the mob still doesn't die. Okay, so that's my take on front loading attack when you are in Midgard, and then as you move towards Jotunheim, you start loading your hit and defense. All right. Okay, one thing to take note is that okay, the mats required to craft. So basically, you just need 10,000 coins. It's chump change. This grass is all over the world, and it doesn't require any stamina or energy to collect. So long as you stumble upon one that's there, collect it. Okay. The tricky one is this pink triangle thing. Okay. So it only comes from disassembling of, or rather your guaranteed source of obtaining this is from disassembling accessories. Okay, so to a certain extent, early on, you might need to cater some time to look at maps that okay, just let me show you. Because if you click on every areas of the map, right, they will show you within that area what are the drops. Okay, so probably that's and that's the thing that bots are going to be doing. All right, farming bots are going to be doing. So you might want to go to places that drops gray accessories, and then when you disassemble them, okay, let's see. I'm gonna just use one chest to get an accessory just to prove my point. Okay, so if I disassemble this accessory, okay, you see I get 12 of it. But the thing is, you won't get 12 of this when you disassemble an accessory, because the tier of the accessory that you have is probably the gray tier. So you only get 1 of this. Alright. So it's gonna be a progressive thing that you do that you need to keep a lookout for. Alright. Okay, next is the Runestones. Okay. I'm not gonna cover the entire thing of the Runestones because you would you can actually go through them yourself. But it's more of the case that I want to cover is the naming convention of the runestone. Okay, so at least you know what you are getting. All right, so there is actually just let me see. Okay, so there's actually two parts to the naming of a runestone. Okay, this is the first part where I'm circling right now, and this is the second part that I'm circling right now. Okay, the important thing to take note is the first part of the naming is a hidden effect to a certain extent, right? Not really hidden, but you don't really know the effect. Okay, just to prove a point. Okay, first name, second naming of the runestone. Whatever you see appears here that is showing you the effects of the runestone comes from the second naming. Okay, so for the first naming, what happens is that you have to click this thing here, and then it actually shows you what the first naming effect does. All right. So the thing is that you have to have 3 of the same. So if you see if it's red color inside, okay, so you have to have the square or diamond shape red, a triangle red, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hexagon. Okay, so you have to have a red hexagon. Then the first name effect will appear. So if you look at it, they are actually colored. So if you see, what I'm trying to get here is the heat effect. Okay, so excuse me. So if you actually have 3 stones, okay, this is gray tier, this is green tier, this is blue tier, and so on and so forth. Okay, so if you manage to accumulate 3 gray tier red in a line, you get +1 hit. Okay, so basically what I'm trying to achieve here is to have 2 rows of red. So at least there is green tier at the very least. So that means it's +2 hit per line, and then I get +4 hit. And then the second naming is you can basically just read it off the description to get what you want. Okay, and then the next important thing about is the combining of the runestones. Okay, I would extremely strongly recommend against auto combining. Okay, because if you use auto combining, it's gonna throw everything you have in your inventory in and combine. So let's say, for example, if you're trying to make a set of red here, and you already kind of have like 1 sitting inside your inventory that you're waiting for the next slot to open, but for some reason you go and click on auto combine, it will just take whatever is in your inventory and go and combine, and then you are actually missing out on whatever that you need to do for your rune setting. Okay, so please be very cautious about it. Okay, unless you're very sure what you're doing, I would strongly advise against auto combining. Just click yourself. I mean, this game is most of the time AFK already. Just do something with your clicking. Alright, so that's pretty much about runestones. And then the last one is about automation. Okay, so in this game, it other than auto combat, other than auto pathing, which you can disable. Alright, the next thing, this thing is I would strongly recommend. I mean, it's alright if you don't want to do it, perfectly fine. Is automation. Okay, so basically on the left side of the minimap, okay, is this icon here. Click on it. It actually shows you a list of things that can be automated. Okay, so like for example, number 1 is automatically buy consumables. Okay, so if you actually click on this, it will buy consumables for you, mostly HP pot. Okay, line 2 is automatically disassemble your equipment or items that you receive. Okay, number 3 is automatic. Okay, so you can actually read it. The more important thing is number 5, which I will recommend to have it activated on launch day itself. Okay, because just let me read the line. For number 5 is actually helps you progress the main story quest. Automate the progression of main story quest. Sorry, yeah, trying to find the words there. Okay, and every time you complete a quest, you spend one of these tokens. I think you start with 100 of it on launch day. All right, so that means you can probably clear about 100 quests automated. The reason why this is important is because it literally sets you in a way whereby you to a certain extent, you don't have to be clicking constantly. It will just automate everything, and then hopefully with this automation it will push you in front of the general populace that is trying to play the game on launch day itself. Okay, that's the reason why I would recommend this. Okay, actually one thing is that when you are actually doing your main story quest, if you realize that you are actually running back to town, there's a health button here that is hidden. Okay, yeah, there's a health button. There is no cooldown on the health button. So long as it lights up, you can just activate it. You can even health back to town while you are in combat. You can even health back to town while someone is PKing you, or rather, PKing you. All right. So the health button is a really good mechanism to run away, and it brings you back to town immediately without any cooldown or whatsoever. So the thing is that if you know that you are going back to town, just press the button. It actually cuts down the time that you need to run that 700 plus meters just to reach back town. It is, I mean, one time is about probably 2-3 minutes of travel time. If 20 quests or rather 20 times that you need to return town, that's about 1 hour saved, which you can be used to progress your main story or do whatever it is. Okay. And so basically with that, I've come to the end of my video. I hope you enjoy it, and if there's anything that you would like me to share with regards to the game itself, before or on launch, just drop down in the comments, and then I'll try my very best to see if I can do any videos about it. Okay, if not, that's pretty much what I have for you today. And I hope you have fun in Odin or in any other game, wherever it is. So this is Ben signing out. Take care, everyone. Bye.